Man,
All right. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bobby McQuay. You guys are here at the Near West Side Partners February 10th, 2022 Landlord Compact Meeting. Today, we will not have a guest speaker, so we're going to go through introductions, nuisance properties, and additional topics and updates and announcements and future meeting. So there, I will have a few additional things to add at the end. And as always, this is our disclaimer to let you guys know that Near West Side Compact is made up of community residents and partners. Do feel free to tune in. And our intent is to inform people of the situations and concerns that we're having in the community. All right, nuisance property 1. Do we have DNS with us and MPD? Are we ready to go?
I'm here.
All right, thank you, David. MPD, we good?
Yep.
All
I'm ready
right.
whenever you guys are.
All right, so we're going to get started. 2848 West Wisconsin. Any calls for services?
All right, for 2848 West Wisconsin, we had one nuisance eligible call, which was a threat.
Okay. DNS?
We have it on monthlies, and we also now have an open complaint for interior.
Okay. All right. David, just a quick question. How long has it been on monthlies? Do you have that information, or is that something we'll have to get at a later date?
I'll have to get that to you later.
No problem. Thank you, David. Is there anyone here representing 2848 West Wisconsin? Okay, as we can see, the issues are, as usual, loitering between buildings, public drinking outside, suspected drug dealing, cars parked in the street, troubles with subjects, and exterior orders. Okay, let's go to the next address. 730 North 29th Street. MPD, do we have any calls for services?
We had one nuisance eligible call, which was like a landlord tenant trouble.
DNS, do we have anything on this building?
Yeah, we have orders that are in the court process, and then another open ENF for interior.
Okay, Lucas, is there any information that you have on these properties? 2848 and the 730?
7:30, the so-called manager that's at 2848, I ran into him yesterday on 26 in Kilbourne. He said that Sam is going to let 7:30 go back to the bank because nobody's paying rent, hasn't paid rent for over a year. He said that everybody in the building needs to be evicted or is under eviction. And that's what he said, 7:30. He's going to let it go back to the bank.
Okay, is there any other comments about 730 North 29th that anyone has? Any more information? And again, is there anyone here representing 730 North 29th Street?
There seems to be a problem throughout the city, even with Barada properties not collecting rents.
Yeah.
Even that, because even 2448 next to me
Mhm.
has that issue. They take the documentation, they try to get the tenants to sign it. I talked to a guy in Chicago, part of the problem is people think they're involved with the police or something, or they might have committed a crime or something. So they're not willing to sign the form so people can collect the money. So maybe there should be something reaching out to the tenants about.
Well, thanks for that. Thanks for that information, Jim. We'll keep that into consideration. We do work with Mediate Milwaukee. Maybe that's a source that we could bring back to talk to the landlords, that the landlords may want to contact Mediate Milwaukee and try to work that way with the tenants. All right, so let's go to the next property.
7:30?
Yeah.
At 36.
835 North 23rd Street. MPD, have any calls for services?
We had two nuisance eligible calls for service, which were both noise nuisances.
DNS, we have any calls on this building? Any orders?
We have one open ENF for interior. for a complaint.
Okay. Lucas, you have anything on this building?
Uh-uh.
Okay. Is there anyone from, well, hold on, we'll do Jamila at the end. So let's go to the next.
I think, excuse me, hello, I'm Latanya.
How
I
you
think,
doing, Latanya?
I'm good. I think, Barada has taken that building over. That is on my list.
Okay, so since Latoya has, Ms. Brooks has brought it up, I think there may be an elephant in the room for anyone that don't know. I think Barada Properties has purchased all the Jamila properties. At least that's the going theory. Latoya represents Barada Properties on Wells Street, and she's kind of confirmed this. Am I correct, Latoya?
Latanya, correct.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Ask her 1143 North 29th Street, part of that.
Would you happen to know if 1123 North 1143 North 29th Street, is that part of the purchase?
No, it is not.
Okay,
Can I ask a question? How many properties have they actually purchased because Jamila owns between 40
I think
and
it's like
there's
9.
28 properties?
the question was, do you know how many properties that was purchased that you guys are now responsible for, that was formerly Jamila Properties?
In total, let's see.
And then are they looking in the future to purchase the balance because there's 28 Jamila properties in the neighborhood?
Yeah, I'm aware that there are quite a few. I'm only showing. I'm showing 18 that are in
Okay.
this area, in the Wells area.
Okay, thank you. We really appreciate that information. Last question, not to put you on the spot here, but would you be the contact person for all these properties, or is there someone else that we should be reaching out to make contact with, to maybe have a discussion as to how this would look?
It is I.
All right,
I have-
okay.
I have a question. Can she provide a list that's available to the public?
We're in
And
trouble.
It is public information, so we know what
We're in
properties
trouble.
out of the 28 were purchased.
The question is, can you provide a list of the properties that was purchased?
I have a list here that, what information are you looking for? Just the addresses of those?
The list of the ones that were purchased,
Just the addresses, right, Jim?
the addresses. So she could even,
Okay, so if you could email that list of addresses to me, I could get that to Jim.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yep,
So
yep.
when we going down the list today, when we see Jamila and Barada Properties, we'll just ask you to speak on what you may know. And if you don't know anything at the time, especially with the new acquisitions, that's okay.
That is fine.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Let's go to the next address. 3345 West Highland Boulevard.
That should be
For
me.
3345 West Holland Boulevard, we had one nuisance call, which was a fight.
That's Jamila property.
Okay,
Is that a Barada now?
we'll see in 1 second, Lucas. DNS,
We have one order interior.
okay. Latanya, is this one of the properties that you guys purchased?
No.
Okay, so 3345 continues to remain with Jamila. Okay. And just for the record, again, is there anyone here from Jamila Properties that can speak on behalf? All right, Lucas, did you have a question or something that you want to share about this property?
Just the same thing, drug activity.
Continuously, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next property. 3104 West Wells Street. MPD, any calls for services?
We had one nuisance eligible call for service, which was an entry.
Okay. DNS, are there any orders?
We have 3 orders interior and we have one open complaint for garbage.
Okay.
Jamila.
Latanya, was this a property that you guys have recently acquired?
Yes, we did acquire that.
Okay. So the complaint here is public drinking, loitering. And we, again, because you guys are kind of new to this property, we'll save the questions as to what you guys may have a plan for next week, but Lucas,
Transitional living there.
okay. One of the questions that we would like to answer for, if you can provide it, is this just a transitional living facility? Or is a transitional living facility operating inside of the property?
Please bear with me. I just got this information.
Oh, yeah, and I don't expect you to have that answer right now.
Yeah, just
That's
within a week.
yeah.
So I really do not know, but I am making a note of all the issues. I do know that the main issue that I've addressed is this trash and garbage and stuff all over. I have sent out notices to everyone there for that.
Okay, thank you. We really do appreciate that.
And he brought it.
One more question.
All the properties that they've acquired, and we have a lot of transitional supportive housing living. Are there 18 properties gonna be all supportive living, or is it gonna be normal rent?
I would say this, Jim, let's wait till next month to ask that question. This is kind of recent, kind of new. And yeah. Okay, so she's the property manager. Let's give her a break. Maybe it's somebody that we could get on that may be, that may be a little bit higher in the organization that can answer those
Maybe
questions.
a plan of what their intention is, because now they will hold a majority of ownership of property.
Yeah, I definitely think something like that might be in order.
What the intentions of the usage is.
Okay, so if you didn't hear that, Latanya, what Jim was suggesting is that maybe someone from your organization could provide a plan of operation in intents with the newly acquired property, since now you guys really kind of have maybe 60% ownership of the property and in the area.
That is correct. Okay, I'm making a note of all that. So I will go on and relay that information and try to get someone to see what we can go on and do and get them involved as well.
A business plan.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Next property. 3118 West Wells Street. MPD, any calls for service?
We had one nuisance eligible call, which was a call for police.
Okay.
Jamila.
DNS, is there any open violations or any violations?
None.
None? Okay. Lucas, did any information on this one?
Jamila.
This is a Jamila property? Yes. Is this a property that you guys recently acquired as well? 3118? Okay,
Yes.
all right. Thank you. Next property.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, was that acquired?
Yes, that property was acquired. And David,
They got a
Can you,
special example, right?
David, can you speak to as far as inspectors for Jamila's properties? Would they maintain the same inspector? Or will they go under Barada Properties for a special inspector?
Yeah, yes, they'll go under a special inspector for Barada, who is Tonelli.
Okay, thank you for that. So it was established earlier that 1143 North 29th was not one of the properties acquired by Barada. So I'm sorry, MPD, can you state whether it was whether there was calls for service at this address? 1143 North 29th Street.
Yep, we had two nuisance eligible calls for service, which were both battery calls.
Okay, MPD, in the past, is there a plan or is there a nuisance plan, or has this property been nuisance? As far as what you guys know or what have done?
Right now with this property, no, it is not under nuisance. They technically only had the two for the last month, so that wouldn't make them nuisance eligible for this 30 days. We do work close, like, as you know, we do work with Jamila. We do contact them monthly about what is high for calls for service. My partner usually contacts Kayla. So we still work with that. We did a walkthrough, I think, of this building in the summer, or it might have been after that. I kind of can't remember exactly what month it was, but we did do a walkthrough with DNS.
Okay, and this and the nuisance status adheres to, it has to be 3 nuisanceable calls within a 30-day period.
Yep, and they have to be substantiated, so they have to be calls that actually somebody was able to go out, investigate, and be substantiated.
Oh, the trash hasn't been picked up on this property in months. There's 10 rolls of carpeting that have been sitting out in front of the building since June. There's garbage bags filled with trash in front of the building, hanging out of the bushes, out of the trees, And they got placarded by DNS. They got the blue card and
Yeah, I was
nobody
just
picked
gonna
up
say,
anything.
Lucas, give us a second. Let's see what DNS has on them.
It's
David,
crazy.
can you, can tell us what you
So
have?
so basically, we have three interior odors, and those garbage have been referred to a contractor. So the contractor will be going out there to clean it up.
And that would explain the placated card, the blue card?
Right, that's saying, hey, you need to clean up, and then once they don't hear from them, then what happens, it'll be referred to a contractor, and which that has been done.
Okay, so right now, what we're sitting that the work is out for a contractor to come and do that work for that particular order.
Correct.
Okay, all
Who are we talking to from the police department?
I'll tell you that after the meeting. Just we keep going right here. That's Officer Sanders.
Thanks, David.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Steve's.
Appreciate that.
All right, guys. So we're going to be reaching out to Kayla and see again what the properties that they now own in our area. What is the plan, especially for 1143? Although, it's like every 30 days, it's a few calls. And I do understand that building has at least 30 units in it or more. But
50 something.
that building is really hot in the community. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, guys. Let's go to the next slide. 2809 West Highland Boulevard, Smart Assets. MPD, is there any calls for service?
For 2809 West Highland Boulevard, we had 2 nuisance eligible calls for service, a theft and a call for police.
This building needs
DNS,
to-
is there any orders?
None.
None. Is there someone here from Smart Asset to speak on behalf of 2809 West Highland? Lucas, there's something you want to add?
I was over there earlier this week. Apartment 109 and 110, 2 females got into it. They kicked each other's door and the police got there. They had to call for backup squads. There's holes in the walls, doors kicked in, trash on every floor. Front door is broke. The maintenance guy in 102 had his music blasting so loud, he wouldn't even turn it down. And then he comes out with the beatbox speaker. The building is just out of control. It's
Yeah.
just,
I don't even see the security they have for there
There-
anymore. I don't see him outside or his car outside anymore either.
Okay, I believe this property, Braden normally attends the landlord compact meeting. So let's reach out to Braden and see if we could get some answers from him, or at least relay what we are seeing.
Smart asset own that building?
Yes.
I don't know if they own it, but they manage it. Okay, let's go to the next slide. 2904 West Wisconsin Avenue. MPD, is there any calls for services?
For 2904 West Wisconsin Avenue, we have one nuisance call, which was a threat.
DNS, is there any orders?
Yes, we have 2 orders that are in the court process and 2 orders that are interior.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that first part. They're in a court process? Court process, okay. Thank you.
I have a question.
Hold on 1 second, Jim. Is there anyone to speak on behalf of 2904 West Wisconsin? We got a guy right, I'm sorry, can you introduce yourself, sir?
slumlord.
Mr. Crosby, sorry, KC. So, Mr. Crosby, can address the cost for services?
No, I'm not aware of that one. What did she say, theft? Was it theft?
MPD, can you repeat what the cost for service were?
Yep, it was just one nuisance eligible call and it was a threat.
A threat.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure what call that was.
The tenant that you threatened to beat up.
That's a good idea.
We don't condone or recommend that kind of
That's who?
activity.
That's a threat.
So what is it, something, Mr. Crosby, that you'd like to share with us? We got on here, you were in the process of evicting 5 people.
Yeah, things are, a lot of the issues back at the moratorium, and that's pretty much resolved now. We still have, I think 2 or 3 apartments that we're moving out, that they're not the major problem that we had. You know, we had problems with people breaking the lock, continually fix the lock, and then they're getting into the building. There was somebody that was letting TTN at night. Got rid of that person. So yeah, things are not 100% normal, but they're very close, and it should be in the next month or two. Everything should be.
Okay. I'd like to talk to you after the meeting as well, okay?
I guess my question is, and when I drive down Wisconsin, we had this discussion before about the garbage on the sidewalk.
Yeah, that's part of the discussion I was gonna have with him at the end of the meeting.
Dumpsters that are open. I know you own land to the west of the building. Is there any way that he can find through the city something, maybe a grant, to be able to create a container area that's fenced in for his garbage? Or any program? I know it's could be like a facade grant would qualify for that if he did something properly.
Yeah, that's something that we definitely want to look at. That's one of the reasons I want to talk to him after the meeting, allowing us to do us.
People trying to walk.
Yeah, it's an eyesore having the garbage sit right on the
It's not
corner of
that, but
Wisconsin.
people have to walk around the mattresses. I've seen that into the street, you know, somebody could get hit, then who's responsible for hitting the person because it's his garbage, it's his building. We talked about this. I'm gonna bring up garbage again this year. The garbage is deplorable. There's a dumpster on Wells Street that's been sitting out there for 2 months.
Yeah.
And they keep, so, you know, we talked about garbage. You guys did signs. We got lax on garbage. It's like nobody talks about the
So-
garbage is rampant.
so We're gonna move forward in the LLC, and we can talk about that, Jim, afterwards or offline, okay? Can I get the next property, please? 3006 West Highland Boulevard,
Go with that.
3006 West Highland Boulevard. MPD, any calls for services?
There was one nuisance eligible call for service, which was a noise nuisance.
Okay. DNS, are there any open orders?
We have 3 orders interior and 2 open complaints. Interior.
Okay, Lucas, you have any information, insight on this building?
They still got, they got like 15 evictions going.
15 evictions going.
Yeah, they had transitional living, so they're phasing away from it. So they got a bunch of evictions going on.
Okay, is there anyone here to represent 3006 West Highland? Okay, thank you. Let's go to, you got something to add, B?
The trash that be behind those in the alleyways, it's always filled. I have pictures of it too. Someone has been dumping tires in between those in the alleyway between those buildings.
Somebody's been doing that even over where I live, like a tire dealership. I mean, there's 30, 40, 50 tires at one dump.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dave, is that consistent with one of the complaints that you have?
Excuse me, the complaints we have are basically interior complaints.
Okay, so
Nothing
no
regarding
exterior.
a cleanup.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I'd like that in doing, if there are tires being dumped, I wonder if we would evaluate this for the mobile camera project. 'Cause if it is kind of a coordinated,
Yeah, that's a
Well-
great point.
And that's the same alleyway. The one that's not too far from Savannah. It's just hard because, you know, with the batteries and it's so much traffic that comes through.
Well, over by me twice, tire dumps. I mean, it's huge.
So can we get, thank you, can we go to the next address?
It's 3006 Jamila.
No,
No, smart asset.
2448 West Kilbourne. Kilbourne Avenue. I'm sorry. Any calls, MPD?
0 nuisance calls.
0 nuisance. DNS, do we have any open orders?
Yes, we have 2 orders. Exterior.
is that for the broken window?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And the hole in the wall from the fire 2 years ago.
This property is near and dear to Jim Hart, is right next to his property. And they have some orders on it, so we'll leave it there. Did you get an opportunity, Jim? Per the last meeting?
I did not get an opportunity to send you pictures, but there is a hole in the wall where there was a fire next to the broken window.
And
Means cold air is going into the building And then the garbage
you-
containers are open in the
Did you,
back.
did you make contact with Braden? Because I know he stayed after and spoke with you, right?
And Ashley did too.
Ashley, young lady Ashley, we exchanged phone numbers with you.
Yeah, that was smart. I have it in my book here, but it's something, I call smart asset. It's something I shouldn't have to be calling all the time. It's something, if they're contracted to do this job.
Yeah, I just want to know that you reached out per
No,
last
I did
month.
not.
You
I
did not. Okay,
I was
so,
gonna wait and see what happened this hearing, but garbage is an issue in behind.
okay,
Sounds like we'll follow up for next month.
yeah.
Well, that's fine. I mean. DNS
Let's go to
do-
the next address,
there's
please.
People that get paid to do their jobs. It's not my job.
All right. So now we're at nuisance businesses. Is there anything that anyone from the nuisance property, if there was something that we didn't cover or address that you guys want to add or something that you want to be said, this is the time to say it. Speaking about the nuisance properties.
Okay, can I add two addresses?
Yes, Why?
The parking lot still is full of garbage over there. that
What-
you guys,
okay, which address, yeah?
I don't have the address, but it's next to, in behind Kurt Casto building, that whole parking lot.
The
is-
parking
Okay,
lot where the
okay,
guy had
yeah.
all the porta potty and
Yeah.
Believe it's
trailers.
2620.
Yeah,
Yeah, 2620 West.
so we
Elm.
can reach out to that gentleman.
It's a parking lot and it's, I mean, there's.
26,
trailers with
26.
Garbage. It's been like that for months since we addressed
Yeah.
this months ago. And-
Well, it had gotten better. He
It's
did
gotten
empty it
worse.
out,
Well,
It's gotten worse.
but now he's adding again.
You added to the next agenda.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is it's a parking lot, so you have to
Yeah.
clear it off. It's either a parking lot or it's a.
I,
storage.
I don't exactly know what it's zoned for, but that is something that
Well, I
we're
just
working
know
with,
it's
yeah.
zoned
He
for-
bought a-
Which address is this?
2626 West Kilbourne.
DNS should right away.
But he bought it as a storage place. He bought it for storage.
So, yeah,
So
so
did
again,
you
this
go-
is something that we're gonna get on the
Well, then we
next,
should check with zoning to see
Yeah,
if he
we-
went before
They were
about
supposed to be
parking.
we
looking at that.
definitely get it back on the
They did
list.
already.
And I'll
Came
reach
out
out to the gentleman personally because he is responsive. And we'll see how we can handle it.
26.
And Dave, this is something that we could talk about again offline with you. So if there is no, are there any additional addresses or any other conversations that need to be had about additional properties?
I have to bring this up. I know Dwayne said he bought it as a storage, lot, but it's zoned for a parking lot. So
Okay.
There's a difference between, if he wants a storage lot, then he has to go before Board of Zoning, and Lindsay probably knows this, and he has to go through the process, and neighbors can come forward and say no.
Weren't
Okay,
they supposed to
so-
be doing, weren't they supposed to be doing some paperwork and it was supposed to be getting
Yeah,
okay and then
he's
it
trying
didn't go to
to,
okay, then
Well,
he's trying to get it okay to do something like have food trucks there, but in the meantime, DNS took a hard look at it and things were cleaned up, but if I'm hearing now that things are starting to spill back over and
it was never cleaned up 100%.
Excuse
Well,
me,
I'm sorry.
excuse me.
26.
just so you know, on that particular address, I know which one you're talking about. It's right behind the apartment buildings.
yes,
And next to a Family Dollar. I
26.
issue- Right, I issue 8 citations per month. Every month, that's how many I issue.
okay.
At your service.
Yeah,
Oh,
so he gets 8
DNS.
citations a month, so it's gonna build up on him. So
oh,
it's being addressed.
oh.
Thank you, David. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, and yeah, in other words, I mean, if he cleans it up, he doesn't get these citations, but that's what he's been getting.
Gotcha.
See, the problem is, and I'm gonna just, and I know you don't want me to take the time to talk about this, but the problem is, then you wonder how it looks to Penfield that parks there, then you wonder how it looks to Kilborn Kitchen and Wendy's and Family Dollar, which are going after are, you taking them to court, but then you're allowing to have the disparate treatment here. to allow
Yeah, but see,
everyone else.
DNS is doing way above, more and beyond by giving 8 citations a month.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's gotta be
it's in
hurting
the
him, no
process.
matter how you
We're
look
working
at
the
it.
Process.
Sooner or later, he's gonna have to give up because I would, if I'm getting thousands of dollars a month in fines, why would I want a vacant lot?
Right.
I'm not
So-
making no income on it.
But he
Right,
could,
so,
he
so
could rent this. to
we're
people as a
we're
parking
gonna,
lot.
table the discussion until next month,
Right.
where we can invite the gentleman, give him an opportunity to come and talk about it and see what his plan moving forward will be. We already know that some work is being done on it.
Yes.
Well, the garbage is
so-
the whole Kurt Castor properties. The
So
garbage.
now let's move to nuisance businesses. 2903 West Clybourne. MPD?
We have
Any calls for
0.
service? None?
0.
Okay. Quick question, MPD. I know we have 2903 West Clybourne, the store physical address. However, is it a way that we could get information about the activity on the corner? Or for calls for service, it has to be tied to a specific address, correct?
Yeah, so when people call in things like people loitering on the corner, they're probably using addresses, but they could use different addresses every time, depending on where the people might be standing or where they're loitering or just what that person ends up using. So there's no way to really look up just like, I mean, I could look up a different address for you, but I don't know if it'll have all of those calls for service regarding the same people who are loitering.
Okay. Because as far as the experience that we see, a lot of times it's across the street, down the block, sometimes in front of the store. But the
Across the
store
street from-
owner
from the
is
500.
cooperative and it's mainly not the calls for service on this building.
Mhm. If there's like a residence or a different address that might have more of the problems, then maybe using that address instead and looking up those calls or calling it into that address when you guys are seeing the problems so that we can kind of link it to somewhere else versus the store. Cause yeah, the store works with us pretty
Right.
great. So.
They've increased the lighting, they've added cameras. Yes, they are being cooperative.
Mhm.
Bobby, on that list that we compiled, I did go into the property data and find the addresses for those lots across the street. So we can pull those out. They're in an email, so I'm not gonna find it right this second. But we do have those addresses, so we can take a look at that moving forward. But not right this second.
Well, thanks, Kelly. That's good information. That's information we didn't have before. So that should help us.
Is that
Yeah.
Monroe Park?
It's in the Mill Park area.
So-
DNS, is there anything on the store?
Yes, there's one order interior.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next property,
Can I
please.
ask you a question? Is this across from that new park that was? built?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
not bad.
So anyway, some positive note, somebody bought the building across the street from the city for $25,000.
Yeah, that's something that we're kind of working with.
And they're gonna create hopefully an art live situation. So something positive for that
Right.
corner that might help get rid of the issues. that are-
Yeah, hopefully we shine some light there and people start to scatter. Thanks, Jim. 930 North 27th Street, MPD, any calls for services there?
So we had one nuisance eligible call at the Family Dollar, which was a shooting.
Sorry.
And that was the only nuisance eligible call we had there.
Okay, DNS,
Yes, that's on monthlies by commercial.
okay. Is there any follow-up about the court case proceeding with Family Dollar at this time?
That's still set out for the next court appearance to be in March.
Okay, March. Would that court appearance be before or after our landlord compact?
I will look at my emails and I can tell you in a moment.
Okay, no problem. We'll proceed to the next one. Everyone knows that. I mean, we all are aware that Family Dollar has been kind of a eyesore in our neighborhood, and it's a magnet for illegal activity or at least questionable activity, to say the least. And we've been in I don't want to say a fight or a battle, but we've been trying to get their license pulled for a number of years now, and it is currently in court, and we were waiting a day to see what the prognosis might be. Incident stemmed from there that led to a shooting, and it brought some real negative attention to our community. Hence, we've been trying to work long before the shooting happened to get this establishment closed down. Let's go to the next address. 927 North 27th Street.
There was 0 calls for service.
Okay. DNS, any calls?
No,
Any violations, I'm sorry.
no violations.
Okay,
But
David, I want to ask,
Lucas had said about the rubbish behind but basically the inspector did go out there and they basically put it on the lot that's next to it. So that's been addressed. So they'll be issuing orders for the city to take care of that lot.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Okay, so when we talk about the lot, we talk about the neighborhood house garden, and which technically is owned by the city, so they're putting that on the city.
Correct. And
Okay.
when I went out there, I actually put it on both because it was between them, but when I referred it, and the residential ended up just putting it on the city lot.
Okay, thanks for that. What I think we may have to use for this building is maybe a commercial inspector as well to see about the store and the optical place, to see if there's anything going on in there. But really, since Gary Bear's been closed, it's been really kind of quiet. You do see loitering, but we do believe that a lot of that is coming from the tenants that actually live in the building or from people waiting on the food in a small restaurant.
And you recently just opened back up.
Okay.
Does the Care Bear or something?
Yes, to my knowledge, Gary still owns that property. Okay, let's go to the next property. Wendy's, 914 North 27th Street. MPD, any calls for services?
0 nuisance calls.
0. Okay. MPD, I just like to ask the question. There was, when the shooting occurred, there was no, hold on, no, never mind that. This is for February, right? The calls we're getting are from January? Meaning nuisance calls that was made from January, because the incident that we're talking about happened in February. So
next
that would be for next month, correct?
But the shooting was tied to Family Dollar, so I think the incident or the shooting can only be tied to one property, not both.
Yeah, I think where I was going with this was, to see that Wendy's even make any 911 calls. I understand the issue stemmed from Family Dollar, but a lot of the action was right in front of Wendy's. And it,
Bobby,
yeah.
that wouldn't be a nuisance call though for Wendy's. So when they're
Okay.
pulling the calls, that wouldn't be a nuisance call for Wendy's. That's
Okay,
a different question. Yep.
okay, all right.
And these are from the last so like we run them from the last landlord compact till now. So it would like encompass a little bit of this month, but mainly the month.
Okay. All right, thank you. Can we have the next slide, please? All right, additional topics and updates. At this point, I'd like to thank everybody for, coming to the Landlord Compact. And I also would like to let you guys know that the ambassadors, myself, and the CPU team are actively trying to contact you guys to see if you would allow us to do a septet in your building, your multi-unit building, and to just to see what the safety is like in the building, offer any tips that could make your building a harder target for people to do perpetrate bad acts, and to show that we're working together to try to solve some small issues that before they become major issues. So Dwayne, Savannah, myself, be reaching out to you guys to contact you and say, hey, can we set aside some time where we can maybe take up an hour, hour and a half at most, walk through your property, and just to give it basically a health check and see how things can be improved there. Or you could also tell us about and show us some of the things that you've done in your building to improve it. I mean, it goes both ways. It's a good story, a positive story. It shows that we are working together to try to bring additional resources that may help you guys out, and maybe some tips to make your property more safer. And also, we had these beautiful green bags. We had a job fair this past Saturday at 1201 North 35th Street in collaboration with Employ Milwaukee. And inside these beautiful bags, we have 22 job opportunities, and majority of them are family paying and supporting jobs. And we also be calling around asking if we could put these beautiful bags in your building on doorknobs to maybe help some of your residents or tenants that may be looking for a job or a better job. We just simply want to bring in, hang them on the doorknob, and leave our contact information aside. And hopefully we could, this can help someone. So if you guys are interested in that, please do send me an email, but we will be reaching out as well to see if you guys would allow us to put the remaining bags that we have on your premises. And I would say that we probably have about maybe a little more than 100 left. Yeah. So those are the two updates that I wanted to provide. Lindsay, is there anything that I missed with the employment wonky bags?
One person got employed through Potawatomi from.
Already?
Yeah, so we got news that one person has received a job
That's fantastic. We just did that on Saturday.
on Saturday, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then Bob Coughlin called me. He said a gentleman at his house received a job on the spot at Amazon.
Okay, so that's two.
That's
So,
wonderful.
so if you guys would like, we are really, we do the landlord compact to try to make our neighborhood a better place. And that's including bringing resources that like job information that we may have from partner organizations to help to try to make things more viable for everybody around. So if you guys would like, please do contact us, or when we contact you, give us the okay to just come in and hang the bags on doorknobs. We don't want to leave the bags in one central location. That never really turns out too well.
And Bobby, I can supplement a little for the landlords and property managers on the call. A SEPTED is a crime prevention through environmental design survey.
Thank
And
you.
those surveys are where people would come and walk through your property. And in the end, all they do is make recommendations. So we kind of write up some suggestions for things you might be able to implement to improve safety of yourselves and your residents and people frequenting the building. So it's just a walkthrough, basically a safety survey where people come together from different outlooks and different perspectives and are able to give recommendations in the end. And that's all they are, is recommendations, nothing that you have to do. It's just kind of different viewpoints coming together.
Thank you, Kelly, for better explaining that and giving what it actually means. I was glancing over that. Questions?
Yeah, Dave, did you get a chance to check 2824 on Clybourne for the electric meters? For the people
Yes,
living
I did.
upstairs?
Yes, I did. I went out there. There's graffiti on the wall. I did check out those meters.
And there's
There
none,
are-
right?
No, what's going on is they actually went to underground it's basically the main meters are inside. So what's going on is they haven't finished the job. I had We Energies go out there. We
Okay.
Energies confirmed that there is no danger, but regardless, I did ask the owner to get those capped off. And also there are 2 apartment buildings that are up there. People are living in there and they do have electricity, and that was confirmed by We Energies. Like I said, the meters are inside the property.
Oh, okay, because I didn't see any meters outside and I thought maybe they're stealing it. So,
No.
Thanks.
That's what's going on.
all right,
David,
thanks.
thank you. You solved the 3-month mystery.
Exactly.
All right. So guys, again, too, on the slideshow, we've had resources in places where people can get COVID testing or get vaccination shots. And again, tenant resource information. We like to provide that every month. So guys, please do continue to push these resources out to your tenants. And thank you. Appreciate you guys for coming to the Westside Partner Landlord Compact. The next meeting will be March 10th at 1 p.m. Thank you, guys. Like we had a pretty good attendance today.
Oh, yeah.
Asian carpet.